All right, we'd like to welcome to the stage our first two student speakers of the morning. Maansi Singh, a Jesuit from Jesuit High School in Portland, and Sarai Espinosa Salamanca, a student from Santa Clara University.
You never tell the kids when mom and dad are fighting. That's what my philosophy teacher said as he tossed me the daily Washington Post article. That June morning, media headlines blared with the startling news that Google had created a highly advanced artificial intelligence chatbot called Lambda, which could feel and experience emotion. This information was intended to remain among Google executives, but after the company dismissed these claims, it went public with the press. And the public ran all over social media in confusion. I pulled out my phone to find images of the Terminator and the Matrix surfacing online. In my small suburban home back in Portland, I had only read articles which painted this endless landscape of corporations dominating the tech industry and companies having these existential crises over their products, among other Silicon Valley theories. And when I asked my friends what they thought of this, they said, "Is this even real? What is Google doing? And why am I even involved in this? This isn't my job. Only companies and lawyers are supposed to handle these kind of conversations. You know, important people." Well, within a year, I was about to find out exactly who these important people are. The following spring, I was in the bustling heartbeat of Silicon Valley as a founder of the Oregon chapter for an organization called Encode Justice, a global coalition of youth activists fighting for justice, accountability, and transparency in the digital age. I was among 5 chapter leads and a team of executives selected to discuss their experiences with technology activism and pose questions to Silicon Valley stakeholders about AI policy and regulation. Now was the time to engage in frank conversation with the people who I spent so much time reading about. But these discussions were unlike anything I had imagined. Our team sat down across from the director of policy at Meta in a local juice cafe. And as we asked more and more questions about the company's AI safety regulations, we got more and more questions in return. But the biggest surprise of all is that when we asked how Meta intends to involve the public in these conversations on AI policy, we got a simple answer. We don't know. What do you guys think we should do? At that moment, I thought back to what my professor had told me. You never tell the kids when mom and dad are fighting. For me, that conversation exposed the underlying tension between these companies who were creating these technologies and the policymakers who were deciding whether or not these issues were even a priority. And among it all, society was backing into a corner like a scared child, watching mom and dad disagree and waiting for it all to be over. Because in so many respects, we are uninformed about what technology ethics even is. In my recent years of working with policymaking and advocacy, I have learned that among us youth, there exists this pervasive call to action about climate, racial, and cultural inequities because not only have they left a deep systemic and personal impact on our generation, but because we've been discussing them for years. Through the school curriculum, our teachers assign novels about how racism influences wrongful court convictions and the small steps that we can take to be more environmentally conscious or more inclusive of each other's culture traditions. On social media platforms, we see posts about the significance of cultural heritage months and what government entities are doing to reduce carbon emissions. But in order for us to fully understand how these complex issues are being addressed, we must wash away our fear of coming face to face with discussions and ideas that we are uncomfortable with by addressing the foundational knowledge required to understand them. Because in these conversations about technological ethics, we are the important people. And through education and advocacy, we must come to terms with how a new, uncomfortable tool is both solving and contributing to social justice issues. The golden currency of our generation, artificial intelligence. The mythical figure Prometheus stole fire from the gods, but our generation decided to create it. When applied to social justice issues, AI is a technology that is just as powerful, if not more. It's being used to detect trees pushing against unhealthy climate conditions in Sierra Nevada, but it's also leaving an immense carbon footprint due to its energy-intensive processes. It's accelerating the review of legal documents, but it also misclassifies criminals through racially biased data sets. And it makes predictions on the migration of global populations while also wrongly analyzing critical information for migration lawyers. These applications expose that AI is already integrated into our society and that it is an inescapable reality that we have to face and act on. Because every social justice issue we look at, AI technology is already one step ahead. And when thinking about this year's theme of Boundless and Beloved, I've come to realize that we've always been inventing and tinkering with tools to explore the boundless opportunities of these technologies. But can we balance that with the love and dedication towards the safety of our communities? As youth, we have a unique culture rooted in activism, community, and personal experience, whether it's digital or physical. Within our schools, we can leverage these interactions to establish our place in these discussions and request that our schools equally integrate literature and advocacy opportunities about technology ethics into our education. And by uplifting our voices through a larger institution, we can compel the people who are in positions of power, like Meta, to acknowledge how significant these topics are to us. Our reality has always demanded us to think, to pursue knowledge, and to act. And as the next generation, we must take the first step in establishing a community of informed and engaged stakeholders working across domains by offering our generation's experience as testimony to the impact of these technologies. It is our responsibility as youth to mature into these topics and establish our place, our rightful place, in these adult conversations. It is time for us to talk to mom and dad. Let's work together to build a boundless and beloved family. Thank you.